guys, and welcome back to P.U.G, that is Pickup Games. Today we got a pretty big game for you. Also, I did get my new mic in, courtesy of my friend David. He said that my audio quality sucked and was like, hey, I'm getting you a better mic. And he did, so I don't have that yet. I mean, I have it, but I haven't set it up yet, and because it's going to take a little while for me to get used to it, and this video is already running a little bit late, and I got my tongue sliced open right now. It's already hard to talk, so I figured we should have this video at low as quality video as possible, and we can go from there. That way, it's only up now. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the game. It's a big one. The World of Warcraft board game. Alright, this is massive. It is...
You are not prepared.
Never mind, today we'll be talking about Dragon Farkle. Yes, the channel is safe for work. I swear Farkle really just means Farkle. It's not anything else. Doesn't really help if you don't know what Farkle is. Well, Farkle is an old game similar to Yahtzee where you roll dice and you accumulate score based on that. I'd go further into it, but we're going to be talking about this and we're going to know the rules of Farkle through it. So let's go ahead and just check out what we have inside. And aha! Oh, I forgot that I actually played this game a lot, so I have everything all separated in these little baggies. It doesn't look as good whenever you know. Anyway, we're going to look at the components one at a time. Alright, the most important part of Farkle is going to be your dice, because that's the entire game. It's the main aspect, so trust me that you're going to want to go over these things. Being that it's a 5-player game, you do have 5 different colored dice. You have the green, blue, the purple, the gray, and the black. And trust me, even with proper lighting, the gray and the black barely look different. It is not my lighting this time, because whenever separating these, I actually had to look at them up close. They may actually look a little bit better on the camera than they do in real life, sadly. That's how much lighting affects. Then you have the event die, which has 4 blank sides, the rally side, and then the dragon side. But we'll go more on the sides of the die later when I go over the rules. So let's go ahead and pick these up. Next we have your various tokens that you're going to be utilizing throughout the game. You have your 50 recruit, your 100, your 500, your 1000, and then finally your dragon wound token, which has 2 sides. You have the normal slate and you have the bloodied side to let you know that you dealt damage. We'll go over that whenever we go over the rules and, of course, the meaning of the recruitment tokens. These are going to be your soldiers in the game, and they represent with tokens because if you had literally thousands of miniatures, they'd be everywhere. They get lost, they get eaten by bugs. They'd be horrible. So luckily we just have these little tokens that can be eaten by bugs. After that, we have the magical item deck. It is a deck of random cards. You start off the game with 1 magical item, and you can gain more by rolling the dice. The magical items can do a variety of things, and they really turn the tide of the game. You can only have 1 at a time unless you have the bag of holding, which allows you to hold more. But you can use these whenever you want, usually, and you're going to want to use them because you're going to want to get more, and they can really turn the tide of things. So let's look at the character cards next. Now we have the helper cards. I know I called them character cards a second ago. Technically they're helper cards. You in the game are the main character of the game. You are called a wannabe. You're the wannabe hero that's going to slay the dragon, and these are the people that are going to help you do it. They are very good. They're very powerful. Each one has a different trait that can be utilized throughout the game, such as Darla is good for recruiting. She can even steal resources from your opponent. The dwarf is great for brawling and so forth. My personal favorite is Grok the Goblin. He just randomly bombs people. At the start of your turn, you roll a die, and depending on the die result, you either hurt yourself or you hurt other people. My personal favorite. But let's talk about the big bad boss of the game. Now, the big bad boss, the dragon, and you have to put them together a little bit. So let's go ahead and take the time to put him together. Ta-da! The big bad dragon, the guy who eats all the troops, the menace of Yon. Yon is the location of the game. He's just He's super fearsome, and you gotta kill him or else he's gonna kill everybody. Look how cool he is. Let's go look at the other stuff. Finally, you have your player mat, which will explain most of the game for you, so let's go ahead and talk about it and the rules. First, we're using Grok. As you can see, he fits neatly on this character mat. There's a little space right here for him and whatnot. Your tokens are going to be filled off on the side right here. So at the start of each turn, you're allowed to choose one of three options. You're either going to recruit, brawl, or go for the final battle. Recruiting means that you're going to be building your own army. Brawling means that you're going to do a player versus player, so you're going to attack one of your friends. And the final battle means that you're going to attempt to end the game. Let's talk about recruiting for right now. On the side right here, you will see the different die results and what they represent. So rolling a single 5 will get you 50 soldiers. Single 1 will get you 100 soldiers. 3 6 is 600. 3 5 is 500. 4s 400. 3s 300. 2s 200s. 1s 1,000. If you roll a 4 of a kind of anything, it's 1,500. If you roll 3 pair, it's 2,000. If you roll all of one thing, it's 2,500. And if you just roll everything, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you get 3,000 soldiers. When recruiting, you're going to be trying to recruit as many soldiers as possible without rolling a Farkle. I know that word has popped up again. What is a Farkle? Well, a Farkle is whenever you roll the dice and you're unable to score. If that ever happens, you not only end your turn right there, but you've lost all recruits that you could have gotten because of it. Let's go ahead and show off the dice a little bit more. Now when you roll, you must also roll the event die. This event die can have multiple effects. A blank side means nothing. A dragon face means that you do not gain the troops that you rolled for that turn. They were eaten by the dragon during the recruitment drive, so you did a bad job hiring. And then finally the rally, which is these double axes, means that you have one of two choices. You can either double the amount for that roll, or you can draw from the magical item deck. However, remember that you can only have one magical item, so if you already have one, you'll have to discard one. Each time you roll, you must set aside one die per roll that is able to be scored. You can continue rolling until you wish to stop and gain the amount set aside. If you ever roll and are unable to score, you Farkle and thus lose all. Finally, if you're able to score all 6 dice, you're able to pick them up once more and continue rolling them again, as these are considered hot dice, and you may continue to do so until you either choose to stop recruitment or Farkle. Let's take a look at a turn to understand with dice manipulation, of course. So at the start of my turn, I chose to recruit. My first roll was 4, 4, 4, 2, 2, 1, and blank. So I choose to set aside all the 4s and the 1, and this score is going to be 500 because the single 1 is worth 100 soldiers. The 3 4s are worth 400 as indicated by the player mat. I didn't roll a dragon or a rally, so I don't get a good or bad. Being bold, I roll again and get a 3 and a 5 and a rally. I set aside the 5, which is normally 50 soldiers. However, I'm going to activate the rally. I don't want to get a magical card, so I'm going to go ahead and double the troops. So that makes it 100. Being the greedy person that I am, I'm going to go ahead and try again and roll the die. However, this time I get a 2 and a blank. A single 2 does not score. So that means I have now an unscoring hand. That's a Farkle. So I don't get any of these troops that I would have recruited. I've now wasted my turn effectively. That's why you don't want to get too greedy. You want to make sure that you find a place to stop. However, if I wouldn't have Farkled, if I would have chose to not roll it, I'd have gotten the 400, the 100, and the 100, meaning I would have gotten 600 troops. There we go, 600 troops. What is yours for? Well, to fight the dragon, of course. You're able to challenge a dragon whenever you have at least 5,000 troops. All you do at the start of your turn is then, instead of saying recruit or brawl, you say that you want to participate in the final battle. Thus, you're going to fight the dragon. Scoring axe in reverse this time. Let's get the dragon. Rah! Oh, wait. We only have 600 troops. We need more troops also. Be right back. There we go. Now we're ready to fight the dragon. We have a ton of troops. We have the damage counters for the dragon. How do we fight the dragon? Well, as I said, we're going to go ahead and be scoring in reverse. The event die is still used, but the faces mean different now. A blank means that you've dealt no damage to the dragon. A dragon means that you deal 1 damage to the dragon. And a rally means that you deal 2 damage to the dragon. You need to be able to deal 3 damage to the dragon in one rolling session that you scored with. And anytime you Farkle, though, the battle ends and the dragon regenerates his entire health pool. That is a bad thing, of course. You are able to challenge the dragon again on your next turn as long as you still have troops. You do not have to have 5,000 to keep on challenging him. However, if you ever run out of troops, your helper dies and you have to get a new one. And I don't like whenever Croc dies, so we're going to go ahead and try to keep him alive through this. Let's go ahead and take a look to see what this all means. On the first roll, we're going to go ahead and roll magic. We have rolled 2, 2, 2, 4, 3, 1, and dragon. So normally when we're recruiting, you would want to take all the 2s and possibly the 1 and put them off to the side. However, we want to roll as many times as we can to try to kill this dragon. So we're going to take the 1 die and put it off to the side. And since we hit a dragon, we do deal 1 damage to him. However, 100 troops have been utilized to hit the dragon, so we have to take 100 counters off and put it over here. No matter if we Farkle or not, those troops are now gone. Our next roll is 6, 6, 6, 4, 3, dragon. The minimum we can score is this 666. So we have to score the 666, meaning that 600 troops are going to be utilized to fight the dragon. However, we did roll a dragon again, so another damage is dealt. Yay! I have 2 dice left now, so I roll a 2, a 1, and a blank. I do have to score, so I score this 1, meaning 100 troops have been lost to the dragon. However, we've dealt no damage, meaning we only have 1 die and 1 chance left to roll to defeat the dragon, or else we've utilized all these troops for no reason. Let's go ahead and see what we get. Through the luck of YouTube magic, we've rolled a 5 and a rally. That means that we do utilize 50 soldiers. I don't have 50 token right here, but we're winning anyway. And a rally. So we deal the final damage to the dragon. This was a perfect scenario, almost like it was scripted. If I had not killed him, all these troops would have been set off to the side. They've been lost from reserve, thus making it dangerous to stick around. Especially if I have some angry friends out there wanting to brawl. We haven't talked about brawling yet though, have we? Let's go ahead and do that real quick. Come here, dragon. Alright, let's talk about brawling, because hey, you want to stop people from getting troops, right? On your turn, you can dedicate to brawling by challenging somebody to a fight. Your role is if you're recruiting, but you're utilizing your troops versus theirs. The challenger gets to use all 6 dice, but the challengee only gets to use 5 of them. Once you're finished rolling, you'll calculate the score, and the winner gains troops from the loser based on the difference between the two. So if Grok challenged Scratch and Sniff to a fight and won with a score of 1,000, and Scratch and Sniff only had a score of 400, that means Grok would take 600 troops from Scratch and Sniff's reserves and add it to his own. Then on top of that, you get an additional 500 troops from the bank for winning a brawl. That's really advantageous, and honestly, it's probably the best way. That's my favorite way to gain troops, beating up other people. So I also really like the dwarf, because the dwarf gets extra bonuses whenever brawling. However, remember, the more you brawl other people, you're going to paint a target on your back. And you need to worry about those magical items, because a lot of them can turn the tides during brawls. They can change die results, they can do all sorts of things. So be really careful about that. So, what are my thoughts on Dragon Farkle? I mean, honestly, you're going to find a lot in this channel. One thing I love is rolling dice. I love games that make you roll dice a lot. I also like simple games a lot. Ones that you can have really good conversations with while playing with, really turn your brain off and just kind of have fun, make a lot of jokes with. This is one of those games. A lot of Z-Man games are actually like that too. I really recommend, if you ever see this, Yellow and Z-Man games are just really good, just the party games, as people may call them. There's also a lot of interesting story in this game too. The rulebook is really pretty. It has a lot of history of the characters in it, the actual story of the area. As I said, the land is called Yan, talks about the dragon, talks about the various characters. It's a really solid game. There's definitely a lot of like luck and stuff involved in it, and that can get a little annoying. I've amassed 10,000 troops and lost to the dragon before. It can be a little annoying about that. And in its core, it is a really simple game. So all in all, I give it a solid 8. I do recommend picking it up. It's really good. The more people you have, the more fun it is. I definitely don't recommend it. It says 2 to 5. I would never play it with 2 people. 3 people is okay. 4 is like the sweet spot for me on this one. That's it. And then also, they say to randomly choose the characters. I personally love choosing my character because I like playing Grok. I like playing the dwarf. I'm not a fan of Darla, the goth princess. I'm not a fan of Sadia or anything. I like to play my 2. But anyway, let me know what you thought of this. Is there any version of Farkle out there that I'm not aware of that you may just really like? Leave some stuff in the comments. And as always, comment, like, subscribe, ring that bell, and if you're interested in helping me open my own store, go ahead and check out the link in the description below. Thanks guys, and see y'all next time. One day we'll get to talk about you, but you're so damn complicated.